my fault. Really. The problem is, I'm a trusting person. You have to take people at face value. I mean, it's not like I believe in every charlatan who comes along. I don't believe in astrology or what my grandma says about Vaseline.
Put Vaseline on your feet at night to cure your cold. It works like a miracle.
Sure, I love Grandma, but I don't think her license to teach home economics makes her an expert on Vaseline or the common cold. But trust, but verify. That's what Reagan said. Or was it Gorbachev? You have to trust people sometimes. And it had nothing to do with her eyes. Such sad eyes. She looked like one of those paintings with the sad eyes, except she wasn't creepy. She had those eyes you could trust. Beautiful, truthful eyes. But I couldn't tell my boss I trusted her eyes. My boss didn't understand these things.
Sit down, Paul. Do you need a cup of coffee? A cigarette? I won't tell.
Will I need a cigarette?
Well, the editor was very interested in your latest article.
Maxine read it herself?
Every word. So did I. It was quite the scoop.
Yeah, I was pretty jazzed.
Banksy's lover, the real artist behind his work. Very topical.
Yeah, especially now that his mural in Yonkers accidentally got covered with an ad for Geico. But you know, I feel like the gecko was a good counterpoint to his comment on the zeitgeist.
Let's put the zeitgeist aside.
It's all around us.
Is it? You know what else is all around us?
The ineffable ether of the divine phenomena?
Bullshit! Bullshit is all around us.
That was my next idea.
Did you fact check anything this woman told you? What was her name? Tamara Dalen Beka.
She showed me her ID.
Her ID?
Her faculty ID. She teaches at the new school for social conditioning.
She's an artist.
I saw her work. It's astounding.
She's an artist who died in 1980.
Come again?
Tamara Dalen Beka was a real artist who died in 1980.
Tammy must be her granddaughter. Her niece.
Or maybe, I don't know, a crazy lying con artist, a card shop, a flim-flam.
I can't believe it.
Well, we did an image search on her photo. She has a record as long as the ingredient list on a box of Captain Crunch.
You're sure?
As sure as your name is Mud.
Okay, maybe I didn't dig enough.
Didn't dig enough? You couldn't have planted parsley with that spoon.
She was so convincing. You would have believed her too.
Leave me out of this. So please, lean out your desk.
No, you can't. I need this job.
Sorry, I know, it's rough.
You don't know how rough it is. My dog has vet bills. Last month he had kennel cough. Now he has canine COVID cough. He needs pills and shots, and I just bought him a weighted blanket. That's expensive.
Your dog is sick?
He's barely hanging on.
Well, I care about dogs.
Yeah, he's coughing like an audience at an avant-garde play. Like, without nudity.
Well, that's too bad.
He needs meds. It's costing me a fortune. Please, Norma.
All right. I'll tell you what. There is an opening. It's part-time.
Yeah?
If you're desperate enough.
Oh, I am. I'm desperate. And so I got my new assignment, writing horoscopes for the weekly Penny Saver Monthly Gazette. My buddy Jake took me out for a drink, and I told him the whole thing. After he stopped laughing, he was sympathetic. He loves dogs too. But I needed his advice. I don't believe in astrology. How am I supposed to write a weekly horoscope? I don't even know the 10 zodiac signs. And he says...
12, Paul, there are 12 signs.
There are 12 signs. That's 2 more. How can I come up with 12 paragraphs of made-up crap about people I don't even know?
Do some research, investigate. That's your job. Go to an expert. They're all over the place. Their houses with the neon signs that say personal readings, walk-ins welcome, $20, Terrell's crystal.
They're all over the place?
You never notice anything. Get your head out of the clouds. I bet if we walk 3 blocks, we'll run right into one.
Sure enough, right around the block was Madame Sophia's visionary emporium.
Go on. Go in. Let her read your palm or lay out your tarot cards and pick up some ideas. She's the expert. See, the sign says 30 years experience. Over 1,000 satisfied customers.
I feel stupid.
Well, that's a prerequisite. Go on.
Now, we'd had a few drinks. I wasn't drunk. Not exactly. But I had maybe half a bottle of Pinot and a couple of shots and maybe a margarita. Just enough to relax and be receptive to the reading. Maybe not receptive, maybe more like argumentative, challenging, combative. The waiting room is full of crystals and dream catchers and little statues of eyes of gods. Gods with a lot of eyes. There were eyes everywhere. Eyes watching me like the eyes of a hungry cat when you're eating tuna fish. I waited a couple of minutes, and then the inner door opened, and a woman came out with Madame Sophia crying into a handkerchief.
Oh, you've changed my life, Madame Sophia. How can I ever thank you?
And Madame Sophia followed her to the door with her arm around her. In a swift, subtle move, the woman slipped a 20 into Madame Sophia's hand and left. Madame Sophia slid the 20 into the pocket of her colorful robe.
Just to help a sad soul is reward enough. Go and be well and find your destiny.
And then she turned to me.
You are a lost soul?
And there was something strangely powerful the way she said that to me. Her looming eyes so full of knowledge. Yes, I was lost. Tears came to my eyes, and I followed her into the inner sanctum. The room was dark, with purple shades over the window. There was a small, round table with a white cloth and a deck of cards. A candle burned, giving off the scent of old roses. I sat down, exhausted. She shuffled the cards. The clattering tick-tick sound of the cards was the only sound in the muffled room. Then she dealt.
An angel. A devil. There is temptation. A dog. A cat. There is a struggle.
Yes, I did feel it. Yes, a struggle.
A hanging man. Your fate is in the balance.
My fate is in the balance.
The last card.
I held my breath. What was the last card? My life was in her hands.
And now the last one. It is the artichoke.
The artichoke? An artichoke? Excuse me?
The artichoke!
What the hell? What the hell is an artichoke?
It is very significant. It means a great decision, a great change, like a wind sweeping the leaves off the trees of fate.
No! A goddamn artichoke! This is a con! I came here to find out what this game is, and oh, that's it! You make it all up, and you take advantage of innocent, trusting people like me! I don't buy it. I don't believe in destiny or fate or these ridiculous cards! And she picked up the cards and neatly stacked them. Then she slowly stood, and her mouth opened, and I swear a voice came out of her unlike any human voice I'd ever heard, and her lips didn't move.
Unbeliever! I curse you! I curse you with the gift! You will be cursed with the gift of prophecy! May it destroy you! May it destroy you!
A fierce wind blew up the candle, blew the curtains in a mad swirl, and somehow I was out of the room, out of the house, and on the dark street where the trees shook and bent under black clouds. I turned back. She'd switched off all her lights, and I was blind in the darkness. I walked up to the corner where a street light shone yellow and dim. I hailed a cab. When I opened my wallet, a 20 was gone. And my fate was sealed. I've never paid attention to astrology. I barely know what my own sign is. Apparently I'm an Aquarius, which always carries with it images of the 60s and hippies and all that. I'd rather be a more anonymous sign, like Pisces, just a couple of fish. I had to head out of town, to a cabin in Wisconsin, away from the lights of the city. When the sun set, the sky was clear, and the stars blazed. I was able to spot the Big Dipper and Orion with his broad shoulders. I have to admit, those fires in the night are inspiring. What was it like 3,000 years ago? People looking up, searching for answers. There were mysteries then. I lighted a little fire in the wood stove and dimmed the lights. The night was silent, just the crackle of the slender twigs sending up sparks, the tiny children of stars. And I got to work writing my first column for the Penny Saver horoscope, which, it turned out, would be syndicated by Gatehouse across to all the penny savers and weekly shoppers around the country, which did give me a sense of responsibility. I decided I needed to be positive, give people encouragement. I read some stuff which I considered crap about the different signs. I figured some people who believed this stuff would come to it with certain expectations. So I tried to be consistent with their supposed traits. For the bold Taurus, I wrote, "Don't be stubborn. Winds are shifting, so bend with it like a willow." For the domestic Cancer, I said, "Don't wait for your dream house. Clear up the clutter and make your home a dream." For the fair-minded Libra, I wrote, "Don't judge until you know the circumstances. Justice wins out in the end." I wrote this way until midnight, and then I slept a wonderful, dreamless sleep. When the column came out in a few days, Jake and I went out for a drink to raise a toast to my creative skills. And sitting at a table in the corner, to my surprise, was an old friend from my days writing for the college radio station. Her name was Melissa. And though it had been a few years, she isn't the kind of woman you forget. Picture the woman of your dreams. That's Melissa. Thoughtful, caring, funny, articulate, someone who probably never noticed me much at all.
Go on, say hello. What can it hurt to say hello?
I don't know.
Well, what if she sees you and you don't say hello? She'll think you're rude. Come on, come on.
Hey, didn't I know you from KMDQ?
Oh, Paul, of course. How's your dog?
Oh, he's fine. Sick, actually. Very sick. But he'll be fine.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear it.
You're probably waiting for a friend or a date.
Well, my sister is running late, as usual. Well, feel free to join me. Are you together? I'm Melissa.
Oh, yes, this is Jake. We're together. Yeah, but not together. Not that way, if you see. We're buddies, bros, comrades. We get together to watch football over brewskis. You know, typical man stuff.
Oh, sure. Sounds like fun.
We ordered around and got caught up. I was able to subtly determine that she was single. It seemed like things were going great. I was able to hide what I do for a living by saying I was a freelance journalist. She seemed impressed. Then she brought us something strange.
Do you believe in astrology?
Me? Oh, not really. I had to kick Jake under the table not to spill the beans about my stupid job. Why do you ask?
Well, my grandmother forwards me the horoscope every week from the Penny Saver, and today it said I should declutter my house. Make it my dream home. So I spent the morning cleaning out my closet, and I found an emerald ring that I had lost months ago. I couldn't believe it. It belonged to my favorite aunt, and I was so heartbroken when it had disappeared. And then there it was, inside a box of old Christmas cards. Now, it must have fallen in there when I was putting them away, and, isn't that just special? If I hadn't gotten my horoscope, I would have never found it.
That's great! So you're a Cancer?
Yes, that's right. How did you know?
Oh, well, just a guess. Didn't we have a drink at your birthday once?
Well, that is so sweet of you to remember.
I had to kick Jake a couple more times. And then Melissa's sister arrived, and we left them to catch up. Jake was ticked off, but he forgave me. That is, until we got to his car, because he was mad again when a cop was about to give him a ticket because it was illegal to park there before 6 p.m. It was now 8, but he was convinced that Jake had been there since before 6. I owe Jake a lot. So asked the officer to let me prove he wasn't there that long. There was a restaurant flyer on his windshield. The kid who was passing them out happened to come by to make another round. Hey kid! I called him over. What time did you put this flyer on this car?
7 o'clock?
Was it there any earlier?
No, sir. I watched him. What?
You swear?
Hey, I don't lie. Lying is bad for the soul.
Well, officer?
Well, it's good for you. I read my horoscope this morning, and it said not to pass judgment without knowing the circumstances.
You're a Libra?
Sure. On the cusp of Scorpio. Have a nice day.
I felt cold all over. I went home deciding I either needed a hot bath or a cold shower. When I got to my place, there was a package in the mail. My brother had sent me our old collection of baseball cards with a note that said, I know I was always stubborn, but they belong to you, and it's about time I bet. Enjoy them in good health. My brother is a Taurus. I emailed him and asked him if he read his horoscope. He wrote back, no, of course not. Who believes in that crap? So, my predictions came true, even without his reading it. Then I took a hot bath and a cold shower. I had to forget this nonsense. It was all a crazy coincidence. I wouldn't be able to write this column if I believed otherwise. So the next week, I wrote my second column. For Pisces, I wrote, don't be afraid. Throw back that fish. Trust your gut. When it came to Aquarius, I paused. I'm an Aquarius. What should I say to myself? I couldn't believe it would have any bearing on reality. I sat at my desk pondering until my coffee turned cold. Then I wrote, a mermaid may beckon. Her song is sweet and worth the cost. There, that was good. There are no mermaids. There's no way that could be anything real. I met Jake for coffee on Friday. He was bubblier than usual.
I went out to dinner the other night, and I sent back my fish. My brother ordered it, and he got food poisoning. I really dodged a bullet. And since my brother was sick, he gave me his ticket to guess what? Guess what? Hootie and the Blowfish. Pisces! It all came true!
Don't say that! Then, to my surprise, Melissa came into the Starbucks. I jumped up quickly and insisted on buying her latte, but she couldn't stay. She was on her way to work. But she let me pay for it, saying she'd do the same for me another time. Her smile was as sweet as my frappuccino. After she left, I stared happily at the cup in my hand. The cup with a mermaid on it. It's easy to imagine connections that aren't there, right? If it were true, I'd have to freak out or run away to a monastery, or worse, quit my only paying gig. No, this was imaginary, like seeing faces on the landscape of Mars. There's a word for that, I forget what it is. But that's all it was. Nothing to freak out about. Then, Thursday night, Jake calls me and says, we have to talk. Now, Jake is a schemer, a dreamer. He makes bad investments on trendy businesses, like the time he sank $10,000 on licorice-flavored sparkling water. I tried to tell him most people don't exactly like licorice, and the ones that do like it for the chewy texture. The fact that it was called black water didn't help. Not to mention, it was black, not cola-colored caramel, but black as squid ink. But you can't discourage Jake. He has the enthusiasm of a Labrador. So I met him at our usual place. We get our burgers and beers, and he sits back and cracks his knuckles. That's how I know he has a crazy idea. I call his crazy ideas his knuckle crackers.
So, my mother called last night. She's a Sagittarius. Do you remember what you wrote for Sagittarius?
Yes, to get on that horse and take a trot on the wild side.
Well, my 90-year-old mother read that and ran off to be a cowgirl on a lesbian ranch in Utah.
So you want an apology?
No! I got a plan.
Uh-oh.
Why don't you use this power? You could make us rich. You could say, tomorrow you will win the lottery. And I could win the lottery.
Thousands of people reading the Penny Saver and the Weekly Shopper can't all win the lottery. None of this is real. You're imagining it.
Well, test it out. What about Melissa? Oh, she's right behind you. Don't look.
I look in the mirror over our booth and see her with her sister, looking as lovely as ever.
You could get her to go out with you. Think of the power.
I'm appalled. Even if I had this power, I can't use it for my own reward.
Of course you can. Why not? Ooh, here she comes. Wipe the ketchup off your face. Hi, Paul. Hi, Jake. I guess I still owe you a coffee.
Oh, that's all right. I mean, maybe Saturday.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll be out of town.
That's great. Travel, see the world.
Oh, it's just Seattle.
Love their coffee.
I haven't tried it, but I might have to get used to it.
Oh, why?
Well, the trip is a job interview, something in the corporate office.
Oh, that's great. Good for you. I hope it all goes well.
Thanks.
She goes back to her sister, and Jake points to me and at the ceiling with a commanding, almost religious air. But I get him to back off, and he's soon distracted by the game on the TV. Then I go home to write my column. What should I say? I'm sweating like a boxer in the 10th round. It's a hot summer night, and thunder growls in the distance. I write all the others first, trying not to think about what I'm saying or what they mean. Then I get to her side. Cancer. Finally I write, the best coffee is the coffee close to home. And I send it off, and a clap of thunder and a bolt of lightning rip through the night, and the air turns that greeny shade of black with the pouring rain. I spend the next week drinking a little too much, going for long walks and taking cold showers. I haven't seen enough of Melissa to get her number. maybe I'll never see her again. As I think it over, my mood lifts. Of course it's all my imagination. It doesn't mean a thing. She'll probably move to Seattle. I'll spend my life alone. Maybe I'll get a cat, or another dog, or a cockatiel. As I'm wandering around the city, I look up. I start to notice the details on the old Victorian buildings and the flowering pear trees. I find little side streets I've never walked down before and enjoy the tiny gardens and the little homemade libraries stuffed with children's books and old paperbacks. The city feels like a hug, and I think it will be okay. I wander into a funky little coffee shop, a new place with mahogany floors and old lamps. And there she is, Melissa, having coffee with some guy. She waves me over.
Hi, Paul. I didn't know you lived around here.
I don't. I just like to walk and explore.
Oh, that's great. I like to explore too.
Nice. How did it go in Seattle?
Oh, I won't hear for a while. It's a big decision. Oh, where are my manners? This is Don.
Hi, Don. Nice to meet you.
Don is my sister's roommate, and he's been after me for weeks to try this place. And then my horoscope said the best coffee is close to home. So I said yes.
Great. Well, I guess I'll be on my way, exploring, wandering, enjoy the coffee. I wandered out like a balled up Kleenex blowing in the wind. And for the first time I considered, maybe I need to get some help. I was in over my head. My horoscopes were coming true. I couldn't ignore it anymore. And now my horoscope had encouraged Melissa, who I always considered to be the one that got away, to have coffee with some guy named Don. She said he was her sister's roommate. What did that mean exactly? I couldn't sleep. I got up at dawn one morning and took my dog Frankie for a walk. He was finally over his canine COVID cough and was eager to get back to his life at the dog park and sniff a few butts. Only a few people were there, and a doggy yoga class was going on. I didn't know there was doggy yoga. But a woman in a tank top and leggings was teaching a class on getting one's dog to stretch and toe.
Now lie down, paws in the air. That's right, flex those joints.
The woman seemed familiar. I couldn't quite place her. I joined the class, and Frankie seemed to get a kick out of it. Afterwards, the woman approached me.
Oh, hi. It's Paul, isn't it?
Oh, you're Melissa's sister, Joanne, right?
Oh, that's right. I didn't know you had a dog.
Yeah, this is old Frankie. Just got over being sick.
He's, unusual. What breed is he?
A corgi doodle.
Oh, very curly.
He was a good haircut. I guess we all do. So, have you seen Melissa lately?
I'll be seeing her Saturday for her birthday.
Oh, yeah. Of course, Cancer July.
I don't believe that stuff.
Oh, right. No, I don't believe in that hokum. It's all bunk. So, I ran into her at that new coffee shop. I think she was with your roommate, Don?
Oh, finally. I've been trying to fix them up for months.
Yeah? That's nice. Thoughtful.
He's working on his PhD in English literature. Melissa loves poetry.
Who doesn't?
Would you like to drop by the party? Oh, it's just a casual get-together.
Well, thank you. I'd love to.
Well, I'd better be going. I have to buy artichokes, for the party.
Artichokes?
Well, we both love artichoke dip. Are you okay?
Sure. Who doesn't love artichokes? She gave me the address and took off. My column was due that night. Oh, Melissa loved poetry. I fired up the computer and pulled out all the stops. I wrote a sonnet for every sign. I hadn't been that creative since high school. The words just flowed. as if I were channeling a spirit. I didn't fight it. If Melissa was falling in love with that poet, well, I would put my rival in his place. For her sign, I wrote, "When in disgrace and with fortune," and the words of tuneless phrases written on the breeze. You think the poet sings a song like birds, but in truth his art is simply like a sneeze. It blows across the room in fits and roars and clashing into syllables of dread. It lulls the witless student with its snores and drives the muses all to heck. And if you think he's genius, hear me now! His words are like the mooing of a cow. That would show him. But when it came to writing Aquarius, my sign, something came over me, possessed me, as if my keyboard were typing all on its own. When in disgrace with fortune and the stars, I all alone go out and walk my dog, and gaze up at the planets and to Mars, and wonder if my mind is in a fall. I weep to know the answers of my quest, to understand the secrets of the heart. I cry, and like a ghost I cannot rest, for in the end, this madness is the start. For who can say what fortune is my fate, except I, who always know the truth, too late. I finished the column and set it in. Smoke started rising from my desk. My computer was on fire! Belching black clouds from the motherboard. The smoke alarm went off, and Frankie went nuts barking, while I grabbed the fire extinguisher from the hallway and finally put it out. I wrapped Frankie in his weighted blanket. We curled up together on his warm bed, and I fell into a black void of sleep. The next day or two, I was a zombie. I avoided Jake and the bar, and shopped around for a new computer. Filled with evil, I went to the Apple store and bought the lightest airbook, as thin as a saltine. Then I got a haircut and a gentleman's facial, the steam and essential oils as decadent as a sultan's banquet. Then it was time for Melissa's party. I shaved twice. I started to dress, pulled out my skinniest jeans. Too skinny.
Yeah.
So I got my relaxed khakis. Too relaxed. I looked like a fat youth minister. Finally, I got my navy cords. They fit, and no one else would be in cords. I'd be unique. I wore them with my best striped shirt, and a bow tie, and a trilby. Perfect! I looked at Frankie. Well, boy, what do you think? No! You're wrong! I look great! What do you know? You're a dog. And your breath stinks. And I was off. The party was at 7, so I arrived exactly at 7:24. Only a few people were there. At first, I couldn't find Melissa. Joanne took me to the kitchen and handed me a beer.
I'm sorry, this party is a bust.
What happened?
It's Don, you remember?
The poet, yes.
Well, that's the thing. He read his horoscope today and it upset him. Something about being a terrible poet.
He's a Cancer like Melissa?
That's right. He's locked himself in the bathroom and says he's going to move to Tibet and join a Buddhist monastery.
That's great! I mean, the quest for spirituality is a noble effort.
Well, can you talk to him? I mean, man to man. I have a feeling that you can help.
Sure, I'd be glad to. But the thing is, the truth is, and the next thing I know, I told Joanne everything. The whole truth. It just poured out of me. She listened patiently. I tried to joke to laugh it off. But her look grew increasingly concerned. When I was through, she took a card off the refrigerator.
I want you to call this woman. She'll help you.
Dr. Rubenstein?
She's the best therapist in the city.
I don't think I need... Well,
I can't tell you what to do, but you're obviously disturbed.
Disturbed?
You need help.
No, I'm fine. But maybe she can help. I'll give her a try. And you're not going to tell Melissa, are you? I'd appreciate if you kept this between us.
Oh, Melissa has enough problems tonight. I won't burden her with this. Don't worry.
And so I went to the bathroom door and talked it up. I told him astrology was a lot of horse hockey, and he came out, and after a while, we were all laughing about it. Melissa was there, but she didn't say much. I got the vibe she didn't think much of how sensitively Don had reacted to his horoscope. Good. I also felt amused eyes on me and my bow tie and trilby combo. Maybe the dog was right about that. I left early. And within a couple of days, I had an appointment with Dr. Rubenstein. Her office was in an expensive building overlooking the lake. I started to wonder how much this was going to cost me. When she opened the door, I was gobsmacked.
Mr. Dennings, are you all right? You look as if you've seen a ghost.
It was Madame Sophia, the crazy tarot card reader who cursed me in the first place.
Please come in. May I help you, Paul? Do you need some water? Here, take a sip.
Are you perhaps related to a Madame Sophia? She has a house of fortune in Lakeview?
I've never heard of a Madame Sophia.
Not her sister, her twin sister?
Not that I am aware of. Please tell me what I can do for you.
I told her the whole story. So what can I do? Do you have some advice?
Well, this is an unusual case, a kind of paranoid delusion.
I assure you, this is not my imagination.
And yet, you even imagine that I am her.
No, it's just that you look and sound exactly like her, but I believe you aren't her.
If you say so.
So that's it? You're just going to diagnose me as a paranoid, leave me to float away like a leaky balloon?
Of course not. I have advice for you.
Okay. What is it?
You must deal with the source of your delusion. You must go back to Madame Sophia.
Really? Go back? I don't know. She was pretty freaky. So I paid the $200 for our session and I went straight to Lakeview. I wandered around trying to remember where Madame Sophia's house was, and then I came upon it unexpectedly. Its big, dark windows, like accusing eyes, were locked up and deserted. There was a note on the door that said,
Moving to a new office. Visit us at our new location in Albuquerque. Friend us on Facebook and get a discount code. If you have been cursed, text FREEME to 5500. Text rates apply.
A cold breeze chilled my neck. I got out my phone. Trembling, I sent the text. The wind rose and rattled the windows of her house. For a moment, I thought I saw her face in the glass. And then the sun came out. Robins chirped, and my heart stopped pounding. My phone chimed. There was a text from my old boss at the paper. She wanted to see me right away.
Come in, Paul. Sit down. Do you need anything? Water? A scotch?
A scotch?
Here you go. It's from Highland Park.
Illinois?
Scotland. Orkney, I think.
Why are you giving me expensive scotch?
Haven't you heard about all your fan mail?
Fan mail?
You're a star. Your horoscopes are a smash hit. You're the Dan Brown of horoscopes. We're thinking of collecting them in a book, maybe a graphic novel.
That's very PG. A graphic novel of my horoscope?
Well, HarperCollins made an offer. You'd better get an agent.
What brought all this on?
It's mainly the publicity from Colbert.
Colbert? Stephen Colbert?
He read his sonnet and it changed his life.
What's his sign?
Taurus.
Oh, God.
You wrote, I think it starts, when in disgrace with fortune and the whale.
When in disgrace with fortune and the whale, I all alone cast forth as if to sea. And if I live to tell the awesome tale, I'll write a song and a dance, a 1, 2, 3. For Moby is the fish that longs to sing, and Ishmael is playing at the harp. If show tunes Friday night is just your thing, then come and play the star with Twy the Tharp. For musicals are books that sing and dance, and always worth a trip to Paris, France. Norma, when I wrote that, I was dizzy and with exhaustion. It was past midnight. I had no idea what I was writing. My computer was on fire. It makes no sense. It's complete nonsense.
Well, Stephen Colbert read it just as he was flying to Paris for a vacation.
Stephen Colbert reads The Penny Saver?
Everyone enjoys a bargain. And at a bistro near the Louvre, he ran into Moby. You know, the musician. And Colbert's head was filled with this expressionistic imagery of your horoscope. Plus, he's always had a dream of starring in a big Broadway musical. So they're doing it. They're calling it Moby's Moby Dick.
Could I have another scotch? And so my horoscopes were the biggest success of my life. And now the curse was lifted. What could I do? Would I still have the magic touch? I decided to test it the way Jake always said I should. So I gave everyone lucky numbers. And I'd see if thousands of people won the lottery that week. Meanwhile, Moby's Moby Dick, starring Stephen Colbert, opened. And closed the same night. The New York Times called it a flailing trout hooked to a fisherman's most unlucky fly because it was a terrible, terrible idea. Then Colbert sued us. I don't quite know what the basis of his lawsuit was, but they settled out of court. I heard it was for $5 million. Norma was almost fired, but she swung a deal to produce a graphic novel about Colbert's time in Paris with Moby, and it was considered very postmodern. As for me, I was taken off the horoscope column and demoted further to obituaries. I did my best, and it turned out not so bad, because it happens there's an award for the best obituary writing. They're called the Bitchies, and I won for best newcomer. I didn't know if I'd ever see Melissa again, but I ran into her at the gas station. She was with a little boy, and he was asking for a boomerang that was on display behind the counter.
Hi, Paul. How are you?
I'm good. Who's this little fellow?
Well, my brother's kid, Benji. I'm watching him all week. I wish I could afford everything that he asked for, but money's really tight.
I understand. What about that interview in Seattle?
Oh, I didn't get it. And they closed the office here, so I'm laid off.
Sorry to hear it.
I didn't really want to move. I mean, my friends are here.
Yeah, you probably have a lot of friends.
Oh, just a few that are special.
And when she said that, there was a look in her eye, like maybe I was one of those special people.
I still owe you a coffee.
How about Saturday? But if you can't afford it right now.
Oh, I can swing a coffee.
Benji was tugging at her sleeve, still wanting the boomerang.
Benji, please.
How about if I...
No, please.
Okay, I understand.
Well, I guess we better pay for my gas. Oh, I almost forgot. I picked up a lottery ticket. Maybe I won. Now that would be funny.
It was the week I put the lucky numbers in the horoscope. I started to sweat. It would have been nice to help her out, but I also wanted to be sure the curse was over. The guy at the counter checked her numbers. My heart was pounding.
Oh, hey! I won!
What?
$10! Okay, we will take that boomerang, and there you go, Benji.
So, that's the story of my curse. And Melissa and I had coffee, and soon she got a new job, something she really liked. Her sister never revealed my secret. Actually, I think she eventually forgot the whole thing. I still write the obituaries, and I'm trying to get a deal on the graphic novel. It's called The Gift of Prophecy. Wish me luck.